my current setup has me accidentally closing these sometimes. So Friday, ginger on the Friday the 11th of September 2015, ginger scent offering representing sensuality. Read page 195 to 246 of Al Shia on the scale. Rose, representing longevity. Mentha spicata, I'll just say mint. Consecration. Frankincense, divination. Myrrh, compassion. Sage, representing psychic protection. Now, there are benefits, health-wise or whatever, to dragon's blood incense, but it is, it's like 2-3 times as much as even frankincense, so I haven't even bought frankincense in a long time, but, so, at some point I may have dragon's blood. It's pretty cool. It kind of melts as a, well, why am I talking about dragon's blood? It's a weird looking tree. It's like a bush kind of pointed up with its, at the top there, like it's barely sticking out of the ground, but it's been completely washed away. Well, I guess there's a couple types of dragon blood tree, but it has a sandalwood, frankincense sort of smell to it. It does have it doesn't have a more martial sort of smell to it, and I don't just mean the color. But it forms like little pools of blood when you melt it. It's pretty cool like that. Okay, so the Saturday, I went to the Peace and Justice Fair. I went to 2014 and 16 too. I think 2016 was my best experience with it, but I would always talk to the Gideon's Bible person. And the guy, are you a good person? Have you thought about doing some bad things? It's like, first of all, don't tell me that all deeds are equal. It's like, have you ever had lust for a woman? If you haven't committed adultery or fornication, have you ever had lust for a woman? Looks around for a minute. 7 since I entered the park. Why? It's like, you just entered the park a minute ago. Yeah? You think I can't find 7 women attractive before I make it to your stand without being, wicked or something? But yeah, killing people is certainly worse than drinking, or actually doing bad deeds is far worse than thinking about them. And I wouldn't criticize people for mere thoughts or their feelings or their sensations anyways. That's not what makes you a good or bad person. It's your beliefs and your deeds that, how that piles up. But, we still got to live on and do everything for itself. Psychic development, sage. The Sunday, growth. Mint scent offering. Dreams? Endings on the Sunday. Ginger, healing. Detail on the Sunday. Rose, longevity. Okay, let's say love and healing. Okay, magic symbolism on the Sunday. Now, magic as the intentional change of consciousness, I can get behind that. The art and science of religion, I can get behind that. Some of the things that people are going to say about it, no. But the Peace and Justice Fair, I think this one, I think the 2015 one, they had an Ekankar stand. They had, they always have an Islam stand. They're kind of, the local Islamic communities tend to be more or less coerced into joining these things. It's like, we have more direct teachings on the noun and verb aspect of love and peace than even a lot of huge scriptured faiths. So, okay, I listened to Quran Supplication, Part 28, 29 and 30 on the Sunday. Muhammad Wida al-Muzaffar, The Faith of Shia Islam. Okay, I through VI and 1 through 49. And 50 through 89 on the Sunday. And on the 14th, which was a Monday, it keeps... Okay, I'm shaky. Stop trying to blur my images. I think people would rather have them clear than blurry and more still. At least I would. Okay, mint scent offering, representing transitions. Ginger, healing. Listen to Quran Supplication and Part 1. Rose, scent offering, memory. I read 1 through 60 of Healing the Body and Soul, your guide to Islamic holistic well-being following reaching... Okay, I mixed up? Okay, your Islamic guide to holistic well-being following teaching. Oh, maybe it's a shorter version of the title that I did there. 7:24 p.m. starts Dhul Hijjah. So when we flip the page again, we're going to have the holiday, aren't we? Rose on that Tuesday, peace. Mint, animals. Ginger, aphrodisiac. I watched Do Love Spells Really Work? I don't always expect some of these things to appear as they do, but that's something that happened. A EA quoting video. Now, I don't per se like the term spell because it implies like I'm either acting like a god, creating things with my speech, or that I'm worshiping the objects instead of a formal entity. It's like people worshiping salt. And, well, I guess that's how you can get the salt possessed with whatever wants to possess it. But, yeah, Quran Part 2 of 30. Supplication, obviously. I read the Aramco World, January, February 2015. Now, it's sort of like a National Geographic World, so let's not pretend that it's like a sheer Islamic magazine, although it does tell you something about the cultures in which Islam is more popular. But popular and political Islam arguments, particularly ones that are not allowed to criticize big polluters and like the oil industry, So there's some issues. Are the Saudi government and their massacres and their destroying of masjids and their banning more teaching and practice of Islam than any other country. So March and April on the Wednesday. Listen to Quran Supplication Part 3. Yeah, I obviously would have listened to Supplication. Why am I not? Oh, okay. Sometimes I did listen to the Supplication 30 times one day and then just not listen to it every time with the other. That makes enough sense. But I didn't think I did that much, but we're going to see how much I did that as we go on, perhaps. Okay, love, ginger, peace, rose, aphrodisiac, mint, them graviolins. Okay, that's not rue. What is another graviolins? Another graviolins is that little seed thing that Hindu little from the Hindu store? Determination. fennel, healing. Sage, wisdom. Well, of course, if sage is a wise person, wisdom's got to be a symbolism associated with it, even for that alone. I read page 61 through 120 of Healing Body and Soul, your Islamic guide to holistic well-being. Okay, I watched, is there a downside to making multiple demonic pacts? Well, that's the thing. You can either have a monotheistic or a henotheistic Satanism, or you can have a pantheistic Satanism, and it doesn't really matter how many pacts you make. It just matters what you uphold, and even the demons are going to turn against you, much less the God who created you and told you not to do it. One, many, whatever. It does. If you're polytheist and you worship a trinity or a group of seven or whatever, I don't think that sort of thing makes any difference. Mint scent offering to brighten disposition. Ginger, representing passion. Rose, peace of mind. 11th-October, page Surah 4, part 4 of 30, and the supplication 30 times. So maybe in some of what I can't read, I'm seeing that in previous months too. On the Friday is part 5. Sage, representing weddings. Aramco World, May, June 2015. Okay. So on the Saturday, it was July, August 2015. September, October 2015 on the Sunday. And so I listened to Quran and part 6 on the Saturday. Retention, the rose scent offering. It was part 7 on the Sunday. Tranquility was a symbolism of the rose on the Sunday. I watched Human Sacrifice and Black Magic Defense. Magic 101 by E.A. Quetting. Rebuttal on the Golden Dawn channel. I don't know if I agree more with the Golden Dawn than E.A. Quetting, but it's certainly, because it's the Golden Dawn's more limited in their scope, and there's less to do on their channel to respond to and react to, even subject-wise and stuff like that. So, of course, subject-wise, but yeah, not that I really took sides with the whole thing, but I think it's like Aleister Crowley and McGregor Mathers psychic attacking each other all over again, more or less. Except now that we have the internet. September 21st, we're at 121 through 180 of Healing Body and Soul, your guide to holistic well-being, following Islamic teaching. Okay, by Amira Ayad. Now, it's not like men can't talk about women's issues and women can't talk about, science or something like that. But you do see a difference, a clear difference in the books of religion and spirituality, if you want to call it that are written by women versus that written by men. They could be fundamentalists, they could be conservatives upon the very same stuff. They could be liberals or reformist. They could be completely secular, and it could be something, whatever. But you see a difference in the way. It's like you can watch a television show and say, this is... of course, some people don't like this. Like, why do you think this? Like, and then the credits roll around. The commercial... I've done this, and a family member got upset because it's like, why do you think it was written by a woman? It's like, watch, you can tell. And it's not quite the same sort of statement as that some people don't get when I say that certain music was written by the patterns, the way other than the sound patterns, and of course the effect, how you can tell the certain drugs that certain musicians have been involved in before it becomes public. I know a person's been on meth or heroin or, well, any opiate and amphetamine. You can't really tell. You can sort of tell the difference between cocaine and other and amphetamines and bath salts. Amphetamines, bath salts kind of come across the more or less the same. Of course, khat. I not knowingly consumed khat before, and it's kind of like between amphetamines and coffee and caffeine. I was prescribed amphetamines before, so but well, I guess that's been how it helped me figure that out, is that have had experience with some of these things. Okay, Rose Scent Offering, Transformation, The Mystic World of Ekankar, September, Volume 47, number 3. Maybe I'll go back and reread those and do like my own version of a commentary, kind of covering the issues. Who would want to see that of the issues that I have? Since I spent the time that I did, I do plan to spend, the member material. I'm going to my full response to all to those things. And anyways, okay. Fennel, representing healing. Vahmokron, part 8. Tuesday was part 9. Or at I through XVII and 1 through 51 of Islam's political culture, religion and politics. In pre-divided Pakistan by Nazim Ahmed Jawed. Surah 77 and 78 of the Rashid Khalifa translation, read to my father that one. I'm not sure which one. I'm thinking the Sufi commentator with the translation, but I'm thinking of sharing that one with my father next. Who was the guy? I haven't read it myself yet, but I mean, if I live another 70 years, I may share it on the channel. But anyways, that was the Rose, representing weddings. Cinnamon, aphrodisiac. Sage, clairvoyance. Agar Sogchig, wonderful little Tibetan healing incense. Healing's got to be a definite one that you bring up when you mention that one, don't you? Clear audio for cinnamon. 7:09 p.m. starts Mabon Ap Madron. I just use it as a name for the season, not like I'm changing my beliefs as the year goes on in that regards. I mean, I'm willing to be moved by the evidence, but don't think I'm changing my beliefs and practices on a schedule in that sort of way. I do try to make my seasonal things different, one year to the next and one to the other. I am thinking of, I don't know, like mixing in some sort of funeral prayer or something in with the next seasonal point. But tell me what you think of my seasonal ceremony last thing, your experiences with my ritual. And so I redecorated, and so I have a blue cloth up right now, a blue cloth over my window. Well, blue fabric, more to say, over my window right now. I used to set a table. I may in the future decide to do stuff like that again, because there's more. Well, there's tables being used by. Okay, so on the Wednesday, I listened to Famokron Part 10. Rose, representing labor parties. Sage, consecration. Tibetan healing, incense, medicine. You can actually grind that stuff up and mix it as part of a salve, and I think you can get it going longer if you if you mix it with oil and use it as some sort of salve, but I'm not sure of how to do that at some point. The point of this fall equinox was 1:21 p.m. on the Wednesday. Now, you may want to symbolize the very times in what you arrange in your voluntary things. Obviously, it's not required upon anybody. If you're going to do that, it's an interesting thing to consider. Read 181 to 240 of, the healing book. I read 52 to 98 of 98029274088088. What book was that? Oh, Islam's Political Culture. Okay. Cinnamon Scent Offering, representing clairvoyance. Cumin, representing spell breaking. Your own beliefs and practices can undo the others. It's like exorcism. I'm not playing the Carcist. These beings have choice. But anything that's not aligned with my practices, certainly being strong in my beliefs and practices, can repel it. Rose, representing socialism. There's certainly aspects of life that need to be on that thing. There's certain aspects of life that need to be upon other types of society and philosophy. And Sage, representing divination. By divination, I mean spiritual brainstorming. Not that we are taking omens, and particularly, I shuffled the, there are stones over there. I could take those stones, throw them down, and there's going to be a pattern. It's not too much. Awareness as a symbolism of the Tibetan healing incense. 11th-October, part 11. Friday was part 12. Cumin, representing strength. Rose, social democracy. Cumin kind of tastes weird when it gets old. A lot of things taste weird when it gets old, but you don't even recognize it as cumin. It's like, it tastes closer to rubbed sage after a time. But if you're like cooking things on high, you don't have to worry as much about your spices getting old as some people may think, but not that I'm okay. Strength, Rose, social democracy, Agar Sagchig, exalting. I read page 99 to 160 of the Political Culture Pakistan book. Saturday, it was 161 through 215. 216 to 294. Did I talk about that on my channel? There's a lot of books that I'm at least going to talk about on my channel at some point individually. I mean, not just, okay. I've read those, there's a couple in plastic or something, but I've read these books, or, intend to read all those books, and some books I'm going to read, a dozen times, some I'm going to read a couple times. But I do have intentions over my life to kind of catch up and media-wise of what I'm talking about. So if you like me talking about books, that's definitely something I can do a lot more of. I can write papers and stuff like this, probably the rest of my life. Listen to Bahama Quran, probably the supplication part 13. Sunday was part 14. Cumin, representing commanding. The next day, it was strength. Lemon balm, representing resistance. The next day, coexistence. Oh, maybe resistance on both days. Okay. Mint, representing protection from illness. Warm feelings on the Sunday. Ginger, healing. Aphrodisiac on the Sunday. Divine attributes. Virgin on the 27th. And so about 11 a.m. to 12:13 p.m. there was the Eck Writers Circle. And I've already shared all the programs that I wrote, all the things that I wrote for the Eck journaling circle, you can very clearly see if you're not, okay, well, he's trying to support us in a new way, that, I support the good and truth of everybody, but you can definitely see that I had a influential agenda in terms of my involvement in the Eckankar group. September 2015, I listened to Fahim Quran, part 15 of 30. Rose, scent offering, representing blood. Mint, fidelity. Lemon balm, thrive in hot and wet. That doesn't... I read A Gift of Prayers and selections and selected Baha'i writings. I got a little book at the Peace and Justice Fair, so I had read that. Tuesday, 1 through 59 of Mankind's Search for God. On the 29th, was a Watchtower Tracts series from the Society of New York. Free religious spiritual literature. I'll at least flip through anything that I get. Rose, blushing cheeks. Mint, virtue. Lemon balm, thrive and damp and dry. Listen to Fahim Quran, part 16, Wednesday the 17th. Rose, lover and beloved. Wednesday the 30th. Lemon balm, thrive in sun and shade. Oh, what was wet and dry? Oh, damp and dry, okay. Not hot and dry, not... Oh, high and low pH, okay. Mint, precious moments. Lemon, refreshing. Okay, I... pentagram right. Earth, banishing. Maybe I picked an earth wand, my Samhain wand that I was given. The Knights Templar. Something 1-1. Was that Scott Walter? He did the one that did that series. I read Islam, A Global Civilization. On the Thursday, the 1st of October, I read page 60 to 119 of Mankind's Search for God by the Watchtower Society of New York. Frankincense, Contact Other Planes, Camphor. Oh, camphor. It's not myrrh. It's camphor. Myrrh is something different. Camphora, okay. Oh, or is it myrrh? Because typically I would have menthol and camphor together. Brighten disposition, mint, animals, lemon balm, honeybee, rose, longing, lemon, attract, ginger, healing. Listen to Fahim Quran, part 18 and 19 on the Friday. I read issue 1 of Ramadan 2015, Zakat, News, Ginger Scent Offering, Sensuality. Zakat means the obligatory charities, so it's different than your regular any good cause charity. It's very specific, only for the poor, that sort of, anyways. Sensuality, ginger, rose, port condor. Okay. Saturday, I read Al-Juma 1 through 54. Oh, Al-Juma volume 22, issue 7, Rajab 1431. Allium Sepa. Is that... Oh, I don't remember. Clear Audio for garlic. And is Allium Sativum onion? Commanding. Appium graveolens. I don't remember what that is. Is that Hindu spice? I don't know. Rose, representing North Dakota. Basil. It's good to save the wood from your basil plant. Well, save the seeds for the next year, but it's good to save the wood. Ginger, love. Petrovillian, I don't even know what that is. Meditation. I listen to Famicron Part 20 and 21 the next day. On the Sunday, I watch 1, 2 of the night. It's Templar Pirate Connection. Rose, Iowa. Passion, and I don't know. Passion and ginger. Clairvoyance and basil. Contact other planes. And healing with the onion and garlic. 1 through 54 of 9 parts of desire. Let's not confuse that with the 9 gates, but because not all the gates are desirable, you know. The Hidden World of Islamic Women by Geraldine Brooks. 8:50 a.m. to 12:03 p.m. was the Ek worship service, and A Mission Renewed in a Year of Spiritual Healing was what it was called. And let's see, we have Neshama is the higher self, so sort of like an emotional soul. We have the Ruch, which is sort of in between. It's sort of the mental soul. We have the Cha, the sustained life, lively, alive, live. Okay. When I was... Okay, Nubby and Sunshine, The Emperor Moth, Nubby... Okay, the Ekankar children's books. I watched Paranormal, Monsters, Madness, and Mayhem. So what souls we have? Yichda, the Unity Soul.